Why do I choose grapeseed extract in place of resveratrol? Now, before I start this video, I want to be 100% clear. This is not a medical video. I am not a physician. I am not a medical practitioner in any respect. Not a doctor, not a nutritionist, not a nurse, nothing. I am just a YouTube content creator. But what I wanted to talk about is why I choose grapeseed extract based on my own research into the topic over resveratrol. And it's not because resveratrol doesn't seem to show promise. It does. It seems to show a lot of promise, particularly as a geroprotector. However, I have a cat up here in case anybody's wondering why I'm a little bit distracted. However, grapeseed extract is far more suited for my needs in cardiovascular health. Basically, grapeseed extract does serve as a geroprotector. It's very important in protecting the DNA and protecting the molecular cellular health of the individual. But it also serves to help stop with the remodeling of the heart, remodeling of the arteries, remodeling of the vascular system, etc., which is very important in the case of hypertension. It also works to help with the integrity of the blood vessels, to help protect against the bursting of blood vessels, or at least this is what the data shows. I started taking this years ago, grapeseed extract years ago, so how it works is Sam's Club, which is the big box store, Walmart's version of Costco, or Walmart's version of a big box store. Although I think that Sam's Club predates BJ's and Costco, but I'm not positive on that. So essentially, I used to buy, and now I was turned on to grapeseed extract through the health benefits of red wine. Obviously, I knew wine is not going to be healthy, so I was taking basically what's called red wine extract, which is the leftovers from when they ferment the grapes. It's the skin and the seeds, and it's in a powder form, and they usually put it in capsules. And I used to buy it at Sam's Club, and I'd take a handful of those a day. I'd probably take maybe 5 times as much as it said to take on the package, because I wanted to get the benefits. And a lot of people in the comments section of my videos like to point out I take dangerously high levels of this or that. Very few things do I actually take over the safe upper limit, except for vitamin C. Vitamin C is perhaps the only thing I take in outrageously high amounts above the safe upper limit. And you can look up the safe upper limit at the government's National Institute of Health, which deals with supplements. I forget the exact web address off the top of my head, but it gives you the safe upper limit of everything. Now, grapeseed extract and resveratrol, of course, have no determined safe upper limit. But the thing is, like Dr. Cathcart explained I'll leave a link to my playlist on vitamin C. Like Dr. Cathcart explained, vitamin C is actually safer than water. That is how safe vitamin C is. You are more likely to die of an overdose on water than you are ascorbic acid. That's the truth. That's what the data says. And people will be like, oh my God, you're going to overdose. You overdose on vitamin C, generally speaking, most of the time, when you take it to what's called bowel tolerance, you poop it out. Okay? You'll get a watery stool, is what will happen. And I don't mean a stool like at a bar. I mean the other kind of stool. So, yeah, I've had to do that a couple times when I got sick. Years back when I was in a homeless shelter, I had gotten deathly ill from whatever was going around the shelter. People think what's going around now is nasty. They should have lived in the homeless shelter with me. You got the croup. It was pretty bad. I'll just put it that way. And my health never recovered. But another thing that's interesting, I never actually started supplementing after being homeless until maybe 2 years ago or three. It's when I started re-upping all the supplements I used to take. Like I started taking, well, obviously the vitamin C. Right now I'm going back up to about 15 grams of vitamin C a day, whereas I was taking about 5 grams a day. But I realized, when I was actually healthy, I was taking about 15 grams of vitamin C a day. I was taking a handful of grapeseed extract a day. I was eating brown rice every day, despite what Dr. Greger says about the arsenic in rice. So I started realizing I should start going back to what I was doing in the past if I want to be healthy again. Which is why I'm also taking a lot of canola oil. Because the omega-3s in canola oil. I don't take fish oil, of course. Now, back to the whole grapeseed extract. You probably need, from what the research shows, and again, this is not medical advice. Please don't do what I'm saying. I'm not giving people medical advice. Not doing it. But from what the research shows, it seems like you need quite a high dose of grapeseed extract, quite a bit higher than what they're saying. A lot of people are so concerned about overdosing on everything. And like I was saying, I don't take over the safe upper limit of anything. I take at the safe upper limit of a lot of things, which is what you really, well, again, not giving medical advice, but mega vitamin therapy, such as practiced in orthomolecular medicine, a lot of times keeping people at that safe upper limit is what you need to fill in those gaps in the triage, like the triage theory of aging and disease by Dr. Bruce Ames. Sometimes you need that higher level. Now, things like vitamin P, and people are, what's vitamin P? Vitamin P stands for vitamin plant, or vitamin phytochemical, or vitamin phytonutrient. I forget exactly how it works, or what word they use there, but vitamin P is essentially the, it's phytochemicals, phytonutrients, resveratrol, the antioxidants in berries, which is actually what's predominantly in grapeseed extract. Grapeseed extract does not have very much resveratrol, but it does have quite a bit of the similar antioxidants to blueberries and things like that. And it seems to work very well at promoting heart health and keeping the heart health from getting worse. It also seems to help a lot with metabolic syndrome. It helps a lot with cancer, it seems to, and it's generally an all-round good supplement. Now, again, what you should worry about more than overdosing on grapeseed extract is interactions with other medications you might be taking. Grapeseed extract may thin the blood. Therefore, it may interact with things like warfarin or other anticoagulants and make it so your blood gets too thin, which could result in internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, things like that. So that is a real possibility. Also, for people like me that are on beta blockers that reduce the amount of adrenaline that can be absorbed. It also, grapeseed extract relaxes the blood vessels. It relaxes the endothelium of the blood vessels, so it can lower blood pressure. Although, quite honestly, I used to be taking, and people might ask, where do you get grapeseed extract? There's two ways to get it. If you're into, I don't recommend buying capsules or tablets anymore. I think that you're throwing your money out the window because it's very overpriced. What I recommend getting is getting the actual powder. So the powdered grapeseed extract you can get off of Amazon. I also recommend wine flour now, or grape flour, depending on what it's being called by who's selling it. Now, what that is red wine extract. That is the castings, the residual leftovers of the skins and the peels after the juice has been removed and after the fermentation process has happened with the wine. and you can get that from many providers. I got the first bit of mine on Etsy. That's quite expensive because that's being marketed as some kind of gourmet food or what have you. In the day, back before Japanese knotweed was the primary source of resveratrol, when red wine extract still was, a lot of the resveratrol products didn't really have that much resveratrol in them. What they were primarily was grapeseed extract. They would take, because grapeseed extract is cheaper than resveratrol. So a lot of the old-fashioned, back before Japanese knotweed was the thing to get the resveratrol from, back when it was still grapes. A lot of the resveratrol supplements weren't really that high in resveratrol. It was mostly grapeseed extract, and they would say that in fine print. If you're looking for resveratrol, Japanese knotweed is the way to go. That's more affordable if you're looking, because particularly trans resveratrol seems to be the one that is most absorbable, according to the research of Dr. David Sinclair. Now, with both grape seed extract and grape skin, the resveratrol, you do want to take it with fatty foods so that you can absorb the phytochemicals, the phytonutrients, so that you get the benefits of these phytonutrients. And of course, there's a lot of health benefits to the skin, the eyes. When something helps the blood, it helps the whole body. But there's also, of course, the antioxidant capacity of grape seed extract, which, regardless of what David Sinclair says, there are many diseases caused by oxidative stress, and the fact is that grape seed extract is very many times more powerful than vitamin E in its antioxidant capacity. And vitamin E is an extremely powerful antioxidant. Of course, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't take vitamin E. You should take vitamin E, and I am going to be going over everything I take. Basically, I'm going to go over everything that's in my multivitamin and the amounts of everything I take, including extra supplementation. For example, of course, there's folic acid and vitamin B12 in my multivitamin. I take extra folic acid and extra vitamin B12 in both a B complex and also as standalone supplements. And again, people go, that's a dangerous thing to do. The most thing that they found that you have to worry about with taking too much folate is that it might cover up a B12 deficiency, because it can fill in for B12 in some ways. But the facts are the facts. If you're taking B12 and folate in high doses, the folate is not going to interfere with, it's not going to cover up a B12 deficiency, because you won't have a B12 deficiency. So in other words, that's all for this video. Please check the links in the description. People might find it interesting. There you will see the many benefits of grapeseed extract, especially the benefits to the cardiovascular system and the benefits as a geroprotector, which means a protector against aging. And you will see the fact that it's not very high in side effects. In regards to Japanese knotweed, I'm not taking as much Japanese knotweed as I used to, but at a time I was taking, back when this whole nonsense first started with the unmentionable thing that can't be mentioned, I was taking probably about 3 to 6 tablespoons of Japanese knotweed powder a day. And people go, that's psychotically. No, it's not. Because if you look at what's being used to treat Lyme's disease, it's not really that much. And it can have a slight laxative effect at first, but what I noticed is the system gets used to it. So it doesn't have that laxative effect after a couple weeks or months or what have. Well, really after a couple days is when I noticed the laxative effect disappear. The same thing is true with vitamin C. If you're taking 15 grams of vitamin C a day, of course, if you take 15 grams of vitamin C all at once, one shot, blah, everything's going to come out of you. But if you're breaking it up into, say, 3 5-gram doses, you're going to do fine. Now, of course, you have to work your way up to each one of those doses, okay? And then, hit it properly so that you're not, start maybe with a gram 3 times a day and build from there. And then or 500 milligrams maybe 3 times a day and build from there. You can't just take a whole bunch of something and expect your body to be like, oh, this is normal. That's not how it works. But the thing is, and I'll leave a link to Cedars-Sinai Hospital about the importance of taking a copper supplement if you're taking high levels of vitamin C and zinc. That's another one, because of course with everything going on, I take at least 50 milligrams of zinc a day, sometimes 100 milligrams of zinc a day. Oh my God, that's dangerous. But the thing is that, again, the main concern with too much zinc is that it will harm it'll screw up your copper balance and you'll get a copper deficiency. And that's why it's recommended that you supplement with about 2 milligrams of copper if you're taking over 50 milligrams of zinc. It's all about juggling these things, and people don't understand that, I don't think, and that's how people get into severe issues with the nutrients they're taking. I think that my biggest problem came from when I stopped taking the nutrients, and I thought that I can get everything from my diet basically, except for a multivitamin and a little bit of vitamin C and B complex. And that's when my health declined. Also, you have to remember, you're talking about 4 years of extreme malnourishment, extreme stress, extreme everything else from being homeless, and I didn't do anything to correct that. In fact, I had to start, and I will be making a video about why I take iron in my multivitamin. I don't take a ton of iron. You don't need a ton of it. But the thing is, I started developing, really wacky symptoms that I discovered were most likely iron deficiency, but I couldn't find a doctor to run a ferritin level on me. Ferritin is the iron that's in your blood. So yes, I take iron now, or I have for years now, because, of course, being homeless and not eating for weeks on end probably ran my iron down. But also, stress runs your iron down. A lot of things run your iron down. And as a vegan, of course, now a vegan diet does have a lot of iron, and of course if you're eating vitamin C with your meals, you'll absorb more of that iron, but a vegan diet also can lead to iron, a below optimal level of iron in the body. And now that is all for this video. Check the links in the description. I think you'll dig them.